Now, there was a time on set when the hairstylist, who's non-black, suggested you style your own hair because she said you can do it better than she can. How did that feel? Like, you're on a set, they're paid to work with you, and they tell you, do my job. How's that feel?
Well, unfortunately, it was actually a relief, because I'd had so many instances where I had hairstylists who couldn't do my hair, and so when I was on camera, I looked fucked up. And so at least,
there you go.
So at least, her at least admitting that she was not equipped to do the job, let me come to set and make myself look as good as I could. You know, like I was able to do something. Whereas in other times where I've had a job not too recently where somebody didn't want to admit that they didn't know what to do, and my hair looked like trash, and I had to go back to the trailer and, you know, get my edge control out and try to make it look decent.
But the sad thing is, it's not like you're getting paid extra money to do your own hair. She's still going to get her check.
No, I'm going out of pocket.
You're going out of pocket. A lot of times black women are showing up to sets. We come out of pocket and go get our hair done totally before we even get there.
Yeah, I bring bundles, I bring wigs, I bring U-parts, I have a kit.
That could be thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And it usually is. And they, like I said, they're still getting a check to come to a job they're not qualified for, and they're collecting money, and you're still doing their work.
It's kind of unbelievable to me that there are people who can show up and claim to be a hairstylist, but only for certain textures of hair. It's kind of unreal.
I believe I've spoken to some hairdressers, and they say that when they go through, you know, to get their license, right, when they go to school, they're not really tested on black hair. It's just hair, mainstream hair, I guess you'd say. It's not a requirement for them to know how to do our hair, so they don't really focus on it.
What's crazy to me, though, is that if a black hairstylist came to set and they said the same thing about other hair, they wouldn't have a job. Can you imagine? They wouldn't have a job.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
So...
yeah, it's unfortunate, and I think it's something that needs to be discussed. It needs to be changed, and I think, you know, us having these conversations is possibly going to enlighten the powers that be to make sure that we feel comfortable when we go to set.
That's right. And another thing we have to worry about that's not fair is coming off as the angry black woman, right, or the diva, if you have a realistic expectation that your paid hairdresser is qualified to do your hair on a set that you're getting paid to be at.
Oh yeah, I know this thing well. I feel like I'm always hedging what I say and being very careful, because often when I'm on a set, or not often, but there have been times where I'm on a set where I am one of the only people of color on camera and off camera. And so I don't necessarily feel like I'm going to be supported or protected if I come out against someone, or I make a point of asking for something that I feel like I deserve. And so I feel like sometimes when you're in a situation where there's only one of you in that space, and you're kind of made to feel like, oh, this is a privilege that you're even here,
right,
you get a bit, or I get a bit insecure about speaking up for myself. And so I think that there needs to be systems, structures in place for people to go and seek help on set or off set or in whatever experience.
I mean, when you're focusing on 30, 40, 50 pages of copy, of script, whatever it is, right? You shouldn't have to worry about your edges, your hair, if someone's going to spray water in your hair and not be qualified to follow through with the wash and press after that. I've been on sets where they spray water. I'm like, you do know I'm black, right? You know what's going to happen next?
Oh, yeah.
It's not going to look like this.
Or they plan an entire day where, oh, your hair's straight, but you're going in water, and then you're getting out of water, and you're shooting it. And I'm like, but you know, if my hair's straight and I go in water, you're going to have to take me out, blow dry my hair, straighten it again. And yeah, it's very frustrating sometimes, because it seems like these people often don't have any concept of what it takes for us to have our hair look the way it does. That's why I just wear wigs.
Right.
It's easier. What do you call it? A quick weave?
But then again,
Knock one on.
How often has that been covered? It's usually you have to pay for that yourself, right?
Yes. But, you know, I have had my moments where I've gotten set to pay for my wigs. You know, I've said straight up sometimes, one of the things that I've started doing actually is having hair meetings before I go on a project. So
a hair meeting?
Yeah, and negotiate it in the contract so that my hair is natural. I press it, but I don't use any chemicals in my hair. And I don't like to let certain people straighten my hair because often I find that it gets very damaged and breaks.
What do you mean by certain people?
People who are not qualified.
Okay. White folks. You can say it, girl. This is a safe place. White
People
folks.
who are not qualified. And so I will, depending on who I'm working with, I'll say, okay, well, we're going to work with a wig for this one, or we're going to work with that. Fortunately, on Madame C.J. Walker, they had a bomb hair team. My hair was natural the whole time, and they made it look so good. It was so moisturized. The edges were thriving. It was wonderful. It was a wonderful experience. The hair on this show, let me tell you.
But that's a black cast, so they went out of their way, right?
Yes. I was on a show on BET as well, and they made sure our hair was...
But we should get that same privilege, not even a privilege, that same right on mainstream projects as well. Okay? So
I agree.
Yes.
I do not disagree with you.